Good evening, you're watching TDM Talk Show. Environmentalists worldwide have long been pushing for awareness on plastic pollution, urging governments to enact laws to combat single-use plastic waste. That include levies for all single-use bags and reintroduction of the use of eco-friendly bags, which could lower the carbon footprint. This has also elicited debates for years. According to the United Nations Environment Agency, there are now more than 60 countries, including China, which have already introduced levies and bans on single-use plastic waste. In Macau, a group of environmental advocates have also launched an online petition in August, urging the government to enact laws that would ban the use of single-use plastics. Let's hear straight from them. We're now joined by Annie Lau and Joe Chan, two local environmentalists who have initiated this petition. Good evening, Joe and Annie.
Good evening, Kevin.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us here. So first of all, can we first define single-use plastic?
So single-use plastic is like you can use one time. For example, like the takeaway boxes, the coffee cups, straw, plastic bags, the supermarket, like single-use plastic wrapping for fruits and vegetables. So all these like plastic designed for one-time use, we define single-use plastic.
I think it's a very interesting question talking about that, because some of the citizens complain, they're always complaining, I always keep using some of the plastic bottle, I keep using it, we are not just only use it for single time. But how as a point of mind, how we define single use, because this product originally they designed not for reusable. This kind of material, PET, if you keep reusing it, there's some kind of chemical we release. So we define this kind of thing. The original, this kind of thing, they produce for just only one-time using. So this is something we try to limit. We are not trying to ban all kind of plastic. It's kind of impossible in nowadays society, because we already living in a plastic age generation. So we try to limit the single-use plastic because we think it's unnecessary. We can have another reusable way and try to reduce from the source. This is the fundamental principle.
And it's a shame there are 300 million tons of plastic being produced every year.
Shocking.
So how does it go back to us? With the petroleum plastic, kind of like explain it to our viewers.
Yeah, I think the situation now because plastic, when we talk about the history, they coming to our society in less than 100 years, but now they become a major environmental problem, and the situation become more severe. And the recycling is getting down, but the percentage in our solid waste, municipal solid waste percentage is getting higher. So you can see in a short near future, we will facing a very overwhelming plastic waste pollution in our city. We have no idea how to tackle the problem, but so that's why we have this kind of campaign, try to arouse people awareness. We have to do something. At least we are not doing. We cannot have the legislation law established immediately, but at least we put it in a timetable. This is something we have to solve.
Okay, let's start from the petition itself. How did that come about?
So for me, I already know the plastic pollution many years ago, because we have been talking about this many years ago worldwide. So especially this year, like since the typhoon from last year, we have seen a lot of like rubbish on the street after the typhoon, and then this year as well. So it actually really triggered us, because I have a group of friends that are actually very environmental friendly. They know, and then somehow when you look at Macau, you're like, hey, there's so much room we can improve. You know, why don't we start something? You know, online petition, and then everyone can go on the internet and sign, and make their voice heard online. So as a platform to gather like-minded people like Joe Chan and other people in Macau, they're concerned about the environment. And then we when we look at our life in Macau, everything is plastic. You can't avoid. It seems like you cannot avoid, but at the same time, there's already alternative in the market to replace single-use plastic.
Right.
For example, like biodegradable material, papers. And then when I talked to my grandparents, they told me like when they used to go to the market in Macau, they don't need to use any plastic bag. They carry their
Bring
own
their own bag.
bag and,
Or
you
the
know,
brown paper.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like somehow as a city we developed to situation that we are so addicted to convenience, and then convenience also bring out a lot of costs to the plastic disposable, and then in Macau not all the plastic can be recycled, and then we start to question about the recycling system in Macau and it's not being efficient, and and then we need to cut down the single-use plastic. Yeah, it's just too much.
For us, I think we are so surprised by the outcome because we just launched out the petition online for less than 1 or 2 months that got more than 2,000, 3,000. At the end, we got over 6,000 petition from all citizens. So you can see the voice is really clear. Lots of people already are aware that the situation is getting behind control. So so that's why we're going to step a little bit forward. We want to have all of this signature and petition handed to Macau government to let them hear the voice, to let them rethink about when should we have this in our discussion in the legislation council or anything, any policy you can try to improve current situation.
Right. And I'm going to quote the State Environment Report, which was written in the petition. It was published by DSPA in 2017. They emphasized that the average person consume about 2.16 kilos of solid waste a day, bigger than Hong Kong and Singapore.
Yeah.
Hong Kong of 7 billion people, Singapore of 5 billion people. So what did happen?
I think we should be fair, right? Because our population is just a little, and we have to accept so many tourists every year. So, but I think we should think about like this: if we have so many tourists come to Macau, should we have some kind of policy or route to teach people when you join our city, be green? And also at the same time, this is a very good way to educate our next generation. So this is not an excuse. There's so many tourists, we can't control them. This is not an excuse. We still need to do something. Now we are the champion among all of the cities. All the developed cities, we have the highest average the municipal solid waste product created by every single citizen. So sometimes I really think this is not the only choice. We can have other solutions to solve the problem. Yeah.
And Macau only has a population of 600,000.
Yeah. But every year we accept more 200 times visitor compared to population here. So this is I know the pressure is very heavy, but so that's why we urgently need some kind of policy, not only regulate our behavior and also regulate. Maybe it's time to teach the visitor how to be
responsible
responsible visit. This is
exactly
what we try to do.
Okay, I see that there are several slogans there.
Yeah.
This one is the English version.
This one is the English
explain
version.
It
So in addition to our online petition, we also start the supermarket campaign. So targeting on the supermarket using a lot of plastic packaging for fruits and vegetables, because we think those packaging are unnecessary because we just go to the supermarket to buy fruits and vegetables, and then we don't want to buy plastic. That's why we start this campaign. So basically, we just want to tell the supermarket, like a lot of citizens in Macau, they still want to go to the supermarket to buy fruit and vegetables, but without the packaging, plastic packaging. So this campaign is to ask people to hold the sticker, either with their phone or print it out like this, and then to take a photo, and then to submit to our group called No Plastic Please. Hopefully one day we have a meeting with the supermarket and tell them, look, people in Macau, they concerned about the environment, please. Is it possible that you could remove the plastic packaging? And also, is it possible you can provide more green alternative? For example, like, provide more reusable bags at the checkout counter, provide us more green product, for example, like, like shampoo bar, like, soap and, all that kind of green alternative, yeah. So as a citizen, we want this option. So we really want the supermarket to listen to the consumer because they're buying the product, and then they also want green alternative. Yeah. So this is our
this is another way
campaign.
how we try to promote this kind of plastic-free shopping culture, because actually it is unnecessary. The fruit, they have their natural peel. All the vegetable, you can just use your shopping bag. You can carry it.
Yeah.
It's all kind of this kind of package. When you take it back home, you just throw it away. You're not going to reuse it. And in other country, for example, in mainland China, they already have this kind of law to limit the percentage of packaging. But in Macau, it becomes some kind of competition. This supermarket, I pack it very nicely. And another supermarket, they try to pack it more over-exaggerated.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to have to see this kind of situation getting worse. So we try to, after the petition, we have this kind of campaign online. Everyone can join it, and everyone when
can share the photos online. And then we actually have 3 languages too.
Yeah, we have
Portuguese.
Yeah, Portuguese and Chinese.
And Chinese.
Different language.
Different languages.
For different people, we welcome everyone joining.
Yeah,
we want to let the owner of the supermarket to see this is the voice of the customer. Maybe they need to change some of their marketing skill.
Let's go back to the online petition first. So you had a meeting with the government last Friday.
Yes.
Could you tell us more about it?
Well, the meeting was very casual, and the director was very open to our questions and share ideas. So the meeting itself was positive, but I feel a little bit disappointed because the director couldn't tell us when to ban single-use plastic, because this is the purpose of the petition. We want to know when Macau is going to ban single-use plastic. And I believe Macau have the ability to do it because we have all the resources and stuff. And but unfortunately, at this situation, the director say they still need to wait for the facility to be built in order to do it. So
what do you mean by the facility?
Facility is like the compost machine. Because if you use biodegradable material, you need to put those material into the compost machine to properly biodegrade, rather than send it to incinerator. But for me, I think the best solution is to ban single-use plastic, because by banning it, people will find a way to replace, find green alternative to waste single-use plastic. So, but for now, I feel like in Macau, the government like to reward people for doing something good rather than punishing them. But for me, I think strict regulation is very effective to change people's behavior, because this is the right thing to do. We need to protect our environment. We can't wait for, after 5 years, like 2, 5, 10 years,
I'm quite positive. At least we got a chance to communicate with the SPA government, the director, and we have a very good feedback from each other. But I'm also disappointed in some point of view. We cannot have the plastic waste legislation law in the timetable. We can't get any guarantee. But the director promised us they will do more on education to arouse people concerned about the harmful effect of single-use plastic. But at the point of at that time, we also not only talk about the plastic waste, but because this is very strict, their mindset. They think some of the environmental problem we have to do it step by step. Now we solve the air pollution problem, and we solve the noise legislation law. We have to do it one by one. But I think the situation is not like this. Environmental problem will not come to you step by step. They will. So we have to do something at the same time in different area. So I think we should at least to put the topic on the timetable for counseling. For example, just like the tax on plastic bag. It takes more than 6 years, it's more than 7 years to put it really in practical. But now I think if you want to talk about banning some kind of single-use plastic, I can say it's not something possible to happen in the next 10 years.
You know, Annie and Joe, China has responded to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And their companies are facing penalties
Yeah,
of 10,000 yuan or more.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, after there was a ban, they saw a reduction of 66%
Yeah,
of
definitely.
plastic waste.
Yeah, I think education is necessary, but at the
Yeah.
same time, legislation or some kind of punishment or maybe penalty is very effective. I know
Exactly.
nowadays so far the SPA government they prefer to use some kind of incentive to motivate people or encourage people. Let's try to do green, but it affects on some people. But for the whole general society, if you want to modify it, you need to have a much more powerful and effective way. So I think in a long-term perspective, we definitely need some kind of route to regulate this kind of situation.
What legislative options do you think you can recommend?
Any
Legislative options. I mean,
Legislative option.
Yeah,
Like
for
banning single-use plastic.
yes,
plastic,
yes.
banning all of them, or
That you can feel is most effective to end single-use plastic.
Banning all of them and at the same time have the alternative to replace them.
Okay, for me, I think we can try to learn from the experiment from Taiwan, Singapore, and in Europe. They try to weigh the weight you create, the waste you create. They try to measure how many weight you create on your waste, and then they try to that everyone you have to pay for the waste. The more you pollute it, the more you have to pay. This is the principle is like that. In Europe, everyone, and when you use the single-use plastic, for example, the plastic container, the plastic bottle, the bin, the bottle, they already pay when they buy the product. And if you recycling it, and you will get the deposit back. This is very effective, I think. Everyone, if you want to motivate someone, I think financially, reason is very powerful.
It's a per bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Fee per bag.
Yeah.
For example, 5%, 10%, like in the States. As you said, education and awareness are important. Recently, when I first met both of you, there was an international coastal cleanup. And it was an initiative made by mainland Hong Kong and Macau. And there were a lot of people who participated. What can you say about it? There's more than 100.
Yeah, we have kept doing coastal cleanup for more than 3 or 4 years. Get more and more people participating because I see the situation is not getting better, it's getting worse. Definitely, especially after the typhoon or some kind of windy season, there's so many garbage collecting on the seashore. So you can see there's all of them. Almost 80% is plastic. So we can see the overwhelming problem, not only in Macau, it's the whole worldwide. It's not only regional problem. So, but that one is only for education, mainly for education. And scientifically, we're doing some kind of base study. We try to classify all kind of plastic waste product, and we try to sort it out where they came from.
Which company?
Yeah, which company and which place property they coming from. We try to collect all the data and we send back to. We have a center. We have all the data collected, and we try to analyze and have a report.
When will you have the result of the report?
We will send back to
estimated.
Worldwide, estimated every year after September we will do international coastal cleanup, and then probably 2 months later, maybe November, we will have the result for this year.
Okay, that leads me to the next question. Do you think we should take a stand against the international consumer goods companies? For example, those who actually manufacture plastic bottles, all plastics. Do you think we should take a stand?
Yeah, I think they should make the price of the plastic higher because when people buy a plastic bottle, actually there's a true cost behind it. For example, like, okay, when you throw it away, you need to think about where it goes, and people need to collect it, to clean it, to recycle it. So all these process need resources, and and human resources to do this. So, but as a consumer, we are not paying the true price. So, for example, like your plastic bottle is only worth for 3 mop, but the true cost is actually 10 mop. Okay. So I think as a manufacturer, they need to carry that cost, like recycling costs and social responsibility, because you just manufacture the plastic, but you didn't like taking care of the environment. What happened after people throw it away? So I believe regulation is also very important to, levy those businesses with plastic usage.
Right.
Yeah, if the plastic cost is going up, because the problem is the plastic is so cheap and it's so durable, that's why a lot of people like to using it. But the thing is that if we can make the plastic more expensive, people will find alternative way to replace them.
Yeah, I totally agree with any idea. Because the plastic, what we have to specify, the plastic we are using, mainly they are coming from the petrol, this byproduct of petrol. So the cost may be very low, but actually the real cost we just saw is not just only the cost of producing it. Yeah. And also we have to dealing with the waste product, and all of this cost will be paid by our next generation. We should, so that I think the government holding the key point. He have to increase the cost of using petrol source of plastic and lower the cost for using biodegradable plastic. Nowadays we have another alternative way to make plastic. We have starch, we have some kind of using other waste product from agriculture. We can also use it for make plastic, and also government can also have some kind of policy to increase the company that interest using reusable recycling plastic. Right. Because there's another problem why the plastic costs so low, because nobody used the recycling one. If we recycling the plastic when they sell it out, compared to the price by petrol, maybe they're still higher. So if you can increase the cost from the petrol, lower the cost from recycling or other biodegradable product, maybe the company will start thinking about, now this chance is coming. If we keep using the polluted way, we will lose money, and maybe we will lose the contract for the government. Government is the biggest buyer and the biggest investor in Macau. I think they got a strong say in all the trend, all the culture, how our society going. I think they have no excuse. Definitely.
And it's doable in Macau, don't you think?
I think everything is doable.
Yeah, definitely.
As long as people are working together.
Macau is so small. Everything is, you can do it very effectively. But the main problem is the legislation. Sometimes the process it takes so long. I think sometimes I encourage the Macau chief executive, maybe they can use some kind of executive order. Executive order, maybe more effective. And if there's the common good, for common good, everybody agree of it, why not take it a sorted route? Yeah.
Okay, what is that one action that you would tell people to adopt to make a difference?
Well, try to reduce single-use plastic in your daily life. I know it's not going to be easy. You cannot change overnight.
Of course.
But just try to pay attention to the single-use plastic that you're using, and then reduce it day by day. Like set a challenge for yourself, and I believe that over time you will develop as a habit. To live your life without single-use plastic.
As an environmental educator, I always urging people, when you buy something, think about the impact on the environment. When you buy the bottle, sometimes, I just buy it and then I throw it away. Even you try to recycling it, how about reduce it from the very beginning? Try to stop the plastic container by choosing glass bottle, or maybe even metal. Is much more, the recycling is much more higher than plastic. Nowadays, if you give a plastic to any scavenger or garbage collector, probably they won't collect it. It won't cost any money. So I think from the point of the customer, everyone, when you buy something, this is the vote for future. Think carefully when you buy anything. They will have impact on the environment. This is the carbon footprint, what we're talking about.
And for the last question, actually it's not a question, it's more of a message to the Macau community.
a message to them.
To the Macau community.
So for what we're doing now, the campaign and then the supermarket campaign online petition, is actually just not, we are not doing just for ourselves, it's for the whole Macau, you know. So that's why we always encourage people to join force together. If you want to make this happen, we need to be together to make it happen. And then it's actually is good for us, you know, it's win-win for us.
I would like to say to all of our citizens or the people, we are just normal people. I'm a father, I'm a teacher, I'm also living in Macau. I need to take bus every day. But what I want to say is the behavior we are doing today is affecting not only us, it's affecting all the future of our next generation. So maybe if you need to change some of your behavior, maybe it's not so convenient at the first time. Bring your own bag. I take my own lunchbox container. Maybe it's not easy. I have my water bottle. It increased the burden. But can you think about that? Maybe you prolong the future a longer time. Even just for 1 more year, 1 more month, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because imagine you save one thing today, and then when you calculate for a year, you save a lot as well. Yeah.
Baby steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Baby
And also,
steps.
I sometimes I'm very ashamed because our city have so many resources. Financially, the GDP we are earning every year is so high compared to Hong Kong, all the city in China. We got all the resource we need. We have human power, we have technology, we have financial resource. But what we need is the political will. Are we really? Did the government really dare to take that kind of challenge? They're going to take the step, or they just try to follow other example. Oh, Hong Kong is doing that. It's safe, and now we can do it. Or that pace they're doing.
Right.
Should we just take a much more active role?
Be an example for other cities to
there's
follow.
nothing
That
we
would
can
be great.
proud of when we talk about environmental protection.
Of course.
And when people come to Macau, you guys just only have casino. No, we have something we can proud of. The green coverage percentage, we are the lowest. And the air pollution, the waste product, we are the highest. So
And start within ourselves.
we just
start
started from
within ourselves,
ourselves.
exactly.
Even the law cannot catch up with the time we can. At least we can do our own individual effort.
Our own contribution.
Exactly.
Everyone
Exactly.
line up.
Well, thank you so much and good
Thank
luck.
you for your time.
Good luck. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much for
inviting
your
us
time.
coming.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. Join us again next week for another episode of TDM Talk Show. I'm Karen Keith. Good evening.